Welcome to Sterling Wheel.
Welcome to the Church of Wheel. I am your guest pastor. To the side of us, we got my brother Buck, the Diesel Deacon.
Greetings, Earthlings.
Welcome to Sunday. Welcome to church. Where are you hiding at, Buck?
30 miles southwest of Indianapolis.
Yuck. It's probably snowing.
Threats of flurries.
Nice. I am sitting.
They get aggressive with the wind.
Of course. I don't know if you can see it in my camera view, but we're in Green River, Utah, and off yonder in the distance. I'll go a little bit wider there. You'll see the Badlands of Utah. It's almost like the Painted Desert out there. Beautiful sight. What you got out the window? You probably have a hellscape of snow and ice. All sorts of stuff that ain't nice.
Well, I can't zoom mine. I'm not that technically savvy.
Nah, you got it.
But it's just overcast and flurries here and there.
Yeah, just looks cold. What's temperature there?
To 28. And
yikes.
That dude right there is a fellow owner-operator with the same carrier.
Oh, there you go.
As I'm leased to. And
did you get a chance to say hi?
No, but I don't know if you can zoom in on my camera or not. But I don't know how.
Nah, not really. Actually, if you hold it sideways, it'll recorrect and give us a widescreen view. There you go. That'll work.
I don't know how to zoom in because I don't do the StreamYard.
It won't let. It won't let you zoom in on StreamYard. What you got there?
Trust me, he's actually got Ring cameras hanging off the corners of the hood by the headlights, just above the bumper, and he's got up above the cab lights on either side of the cab facing forward.
Wow. Must be worried about his truck getting hit.
I don't know why. It's a Mac.
It deserves to be hit. Mom's in the house saying hello. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Yeah, this is my view. Let's go back to something less appealing. Oop, that's my finger.
I hope that was your finger. Jeez. Don't need that kind of behavior in church. No, it's beautiful out here right now. Green River, Utah. I think you said you were out here a year or two ago, wasn't it?
Just over a year ago, I went all the way out there to Provo, just northwest of you.
Right, and then I think you run down to Albuquerque.
No, I didn't make it down to New Mexico. I ran back
I'm
through right where you're at.
I'm really low on hours. I only had 6 hours to run today, and then tomorrow I'll probably make it to Roswell, and then try to get to Laredo by Wednesday.
Well, I will
Nice
find
slow
out.
trip.
Yeah, just after midnight, I'll recoup my hours, recap my 34. So I'll be good to go in the morning when I get up and have to brave the Indianapolis 500 around the loop to get to 65 north to get up to 70 east again, and
Right.
just off that intersection where 65 and 70 cross in town is City of Indianapolis Public Works, where I have to drop this load of road salt. Don't know why
Very
we would
cool.
need it. I don't know why we would need it over here. I mean, it's just flourish.
Which, by the way, title of the show today actually is Salt, Church of Wheel Salt. You're hauling salt, and I went to this little Mexican restaurant that's right next to the truck stop. It used to be the Four Winds Cafe, which I went to when I was a little kid, like 5 or 6 years old. And then again when I was probably like 10 or 12. And Dad always made sure that we'd eat with the truckers and stuff like that. So I remember, platters of food, and the brotherhood of trucking and seeing it firsthand. And from what I'm seeing right now, Buck, it don't exist no more. That restaurant went out of business, and it's been taken over by a Mexican restaurant, and they dumped the salt on everything. It is so salty. More salt than what you got in your trailer right now. I guarantee it.
As a matter of fact, let me see.
Yeah, how much weight you got back there? Because you said you had to shovel it around to get it to balance out, wasn't it?
Yeah, when I got out of there, even though I was under gross, I was 79,440 gross weight, but there was 41,440 on the rear axles.
You got a spread,
No,
so
it
you're
was
allowed
18.
40.
No, it was 18. It was 18,140. I mean, it was 1840. It was right at a ton. It was 1,800 pounds
Wow.
on the over. But my total net weight for the load is 46,560 pounds. So just over 23 ton, 23 and a quarter ton.
And that's on a 48-foot trailer, right?
45.
Oh. Okay. Interesting. So you got a bunch of salt going to the public works. What do you got going on after that?
I'll find out after I get unloaded.
They don't pre-book you?
Sometimes. I mean, when it gets closer to the weekend, they will, because just this load in particular, I loaded it Friday, and I loaded it in Muskogee, Oklahoma. For those of us old Merle Haggard fans.
Yes, I'm proud to be an Okie. Big Dan's saying hi to you. He let me know today that it's highly unlikely he'll make it to the camp out next month. Too much stuff going around the house and money problems, and there's a lot of people that I know of that are backing away because of money issues and stuff. And I know you and I are kind of hanging on by a thread ourselves.
It's just like every camp out that comes up. We don't know till we know.
Yeah, it'll be a last minute kind of thing. I went ahead and registered and paid to ticket to get in and stuff. So, but I hope I'm not the only one that shows up. Always good to see you, Big Dan. Brown Chicken is in the house.
It's a wonder he ain't fussing at you for not playing his favorite intro.
I did play his favorite intro right at the beginning. He loves that intro. SST's in the house.
Not the robot voice.
Yeah, he loves that one.
Yeah, that one. But I'm getting off track here.
Yeah. Thomas Bailey, good to see you in here. Be careful out there, Sterling and Buck. It's been pretty. Well, I don't know about you, Buck, but like the last few days for me have been really quiet. Not a whole lot of traffic, not a whole lot of people traveling, it don't seem. The truck stops were pretty packed, but out there on the highways, it was pretty tame, pretty quiet. What'd you see?
Well, getting up yesterday morning because we made it to Rolla, Missouri, and stopped for the night. And got up yesterday morning from there and drove on over here, and 95% of the traffic on the road was trucks, both sides of 70.
Wow.
After I got off of 44, after I got out of St. Louis to here, I was like, wow, okay. I'm seeing the shift in it too, because there's still a lot of us, a lot of these truck drivers out here that are trying to make a living and they can't speak English, and I ain't mad at them because they play in the game, but they're working more on the weekends when more of the way stations are closed.
It's obvious. Yeah.
And that's what just me and my, 31 years or more out here doing this, that's just kind of the logic I'm coming to with it.
A
Just
lot.
deductive reasoning. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but
Yeah. One thing I've noticed is a lot more of them are running at night, and it's so friggin' dangerous to have somebody that isn't qualified to drive pushing themselves at night. I don't blame them because they're just taking advantage of a situation that we're not enforcing. I'm more mad at our government for what's going on than the fact that we got some dangerous drivers out here that are
and
underqualified.
and to touch on that subject with me mentioning the way stations and stuff, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I spent most of the time running back and forth. I run Wednesday and Thursday. I ran 2 loads from Oklahoma City, one down to McDill, Oklahoma, and then went back up to Oklahoma City, loaded, and went to Fort Smith, Arkansas with that. And then I went down back over to Muskogee Friday. But the whole time I was in Oklahoma, there were news reports, not just on the CB, but coming across the news feeds and stuff. And Oklahoma is notorious for having what they call super scales, and they're using a lot of their way stations as training centers for their new officers, which you're familiar with that. I'm just trying to update the folks in the chat that may not be aware of it, that aren't truck drivers. And they're focusing their efforts outside of the way stations now, and they're going into truck stop parking lots more and more.
That's interesting because I knew there was a problem with that being on private property.
Right.
That's why you'll see them set
So
up at rest areas a lot.
Yeah, that too. And Oklahoma's always been known to be notorious. Just like, for example, me coming into the state of Indiana, for those that aren't up to speed and up to date on trucking laws and way station laws and weight laws, no matter what you're over on an axle or over gross on your 80,000 pounds in the state of Indiana, it could be 20 pounds over on your drive axles and still be under gross. You could be subject to a $10,000 fine right off the rip.
Exactly. And our companies, the company that I'm running for has all, anytime we go anywhere near Indiana or they detect that I'm driving close to or going to drive through it, we get warnings saying,
Yep.
You will not see the ticket, but we will. They're actually mailing the tickets to the carriers.
And being that I'm contracted to this carrier, it's more important on my as far as I'm concerned. I got to look at it a little bit more and a little bit closer than a company driver like you would.
Yeah. Well, you gotta take care of the hand that's feeding you.
Yeah. Even though it's a collaborative effort.
Thomas Bailey's dropping some news. He says Mexico's in a state of emergency. Stay safe. Well, you're not heading towards Mexico, but I am. SST says, yeah, big time cartel violence. Let us know in the comments where about in Mexico, because I'm going to Laredo. Laredo's always been kind of iffy with the cartel violence, but I hear Nogales has been really bad too. SST says going after tourists and expats supposedly. I wonder if they're mad at Trump. Usually that's usually what happens when they're mad at our political parties.
Oh yeah, and on that topic, while me and Erica were in there having a mid-afternoon brunch, I guess you would call it earlier.
Yeah.
I seen a news feed, and there was actual ICE protest in Valdosta, Georgia yesterday at the old courthouse downtown.
Really? That's interesting.
I can't make this up.
It's funny. The last time I was home, I don't know. Well, shit, I was home about a month ago, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I noticed there's a lot more, immigrants in town and stuff. Like I couldn't get anywhere near the laundromat and stuff. But I hadn't seen any ICE protests or anything like that.
The migrant workers you see there is because of the farming in South Georgia, because it's one of the main industries we have.
What's in season though this time of year?
They're starting to plant and prep the fields.
Roger that. Tyke Trucking is in the house, and Abe from Yorkshire. Mexico is on fire. I guess it's made the news there, Buck. I honestly don't watch the news too much.
I don't keep my pulse on it like I should, unless it's something that pertains to my bubble.
Same here. Thomas Bailey says, yeah, they're mad because Trump has cut down their drug trafficking. Well, it kind of makes sense.
But back in the 80s, I mean, you were just a youngin', but what president's wife started the Say No to Drugs campaign? The DARE program?
Was it Nancy Reagan?
Yes. And everybody was praising him and his wife for that push back in the 80s. And now, look, here we are, a whole new generation, some 40 years later, and people are protesting that we actually got common sense in leadership positions now.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm agree with everything the man says and does, and I don't get political by no means, but
yeah,
that's what the common citizen, common everyday average citizen, it's like that J.G. Wentworth commercial. It's their money and they want it now for the most part, and it's sad because nobody wants to look after their fellow man anymore, and everybody's out for themselves, and it's disheartening.
It is, and we see it firsthand out here on the roads. Thomas Bailey says this winter has been a wet, cold one on the east. He's in, I think he's in South Carolina or North Carolina. He's in North Carolina. Thomas Bailey says the Indian drivers, Hindu Trucking Express. Yeah, we see a lot of them with their questionable driving habits. We got Shannon Thomas Trucking saying, "Wahoo!" Good seeing here, Shannon. Welcome to Church of Will. Hope you're doing well. Tyke Trucking says, unlike the fucking foreigners who can't drive then crash. They've made trucks too easy to drive. That's why. Need to bring back the twin sticks.
I'm fitting to say something that'll trigger you.
Listen, I don't get triggered more than 5 times a day.
Make the Super 10 great again.
No, I don't know. Super 10, no. How dare you?
See, I told you.
Jeez. Who are you driving for? Schneider? Come on now.
I knew.
Thomas Bailey saying hi to Shannon, our sister of conveyance. We got Mr. Journey of Jerry saying howdy. Good seeing here. Always good to see you, Jerry. Him and Rainy Rider.
Captain.
They were talking about the Forgotten Angels camp out, which is coming up here pretty soon, right, Buck? You think you're gonna make it? You gonna be? Are you going? Are you gonna be there? Come on now. Are you gonna be there?
Oh, I'm sure if I'm not there, I'll be there in spirit somehow, some way.
Yeah, I'll definitely steal your motorcycle and make sure it comes down there too. ForgottenAngelsFlorida.org. The campout's coming up March 12th through the 15th. They currently have a raffle bike. It is a Dyna, and 5 tickets for $100 gets you a chance to win that. You can also just pay for 1 ticket. It's only $25, but
And
if you buy
according-
$100 worth of tickets, you get free entry into the campout.
That's what I was going at. That was something Shaytree had mentioned in one of his previous recent videos. So yeah, that's cool. So you can save $25.
Yeah.
Because it's to register is $125.
Yeah. Yep. Good times. Let's get back to some more comments. We got Mom saying hi to Dan and Shannon. Hope you're doing good, Mom. Let's see here. We got Jerry in the house. We got SST. Evidently, a high-ranking cartel boss was eliminated. Probably a CIA hit. Oh, that'll stir the pot.
Yeah, bring up the alphabet agencies and put us on their radar. Thank you.
Yeah. Brown chicken.
We're on enough radars.
Yeah, I'm on every list. All of them.
Except the Epstein Island list.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not that cool. I'm not that high ranking in the government. Unfortunately, I'm not a high ranking official of any sort or business. Brown Chicken says Nancy Reagan made a simple weed position a major deal. Well, it started the war on drugs, right? Big Dan says, I'm fully planning on heading to the camp out on a bike March 6th departure. Okay. Be in Marietta a couple days with the kids so I can stop by you guys and fob if time on the Valrico. My life's always chaotic. Oh, okay. Okay. Dan had texted me earlier and I probably should have read it instead of just glanced at it. I was under the impression he wasn't going to be able to make it. We got Tyke Trucking falling madly in love with Shannon. That's no surprise. What are you saying, Buck?
Back to the camp out. Don't know if, like I said, I'm not sure if I can make it or not, but on a recent topic that is tied to some folks that are benefactors to Forgotten Angels, and that may be something we can discuss is the revelation that Jared Weems had came to last week, and Josh talked about it, and the model / singer, she was involved in it, that brought it to the public's attention. There may be a sighting and an appearance if it can work out. So, not sure.
Okay. Well, go ahead and spill the beans a little bit. That's okay.
That would be beneficial for everyone involved to bring awareness to what Forgotten Angels' mission is, in not just for the motorcycle community, but for the music community and other people's audiences that's not aware of what Dave and Cindy go through on a daily basis, that hits home with the topic that brought up the recent enlightenment about the lady's photo shoot that she had done in collaboration with Jared.
Right. So basically, she did a photo shoot with one of Jared Weems' motorcycles, right? Was it for Easy Rider magazine?
Yeah.
And
it was
Easy Riders.
It was for an article that was upcoming to update the public on where Jasmine Kane is now compared to where they done an article on her 15 years ago, early in her musical career. And I guess it's 15 years later, a revisiting and, where are they now kind of story.
Oh, okay.
And
That's cool.
a lot of us in the motorcycle community have seen her at rallies in person and heard her music in person and knows it, knows a lot of her backstory. And hell, she's from Sturgis, South Dakota. So, I mean, she was born into the riding culture, for God's sake.
That's awesome.
And
I
she's been
happen to
spending-
I happen to see that one of us that lives at your house got a Christmas card from her.
Oh, what are you talking about, Willis? Well,
She's good people though.
I've never met her. I've just been a follower of her music, and friends of mine, they've got a band in there from Jacksonville. They've played the rallies and venues in South Georgia, North Florida, all the way up into the Carolinas. And they've been to Sturgis before. Matter of fact, the band I'm talking about is Big Engine, and they're well known in the rally circuit. Just they're basically, do the same stuff Jasmine does. They go from rally to rally and support the bikers and support their nonprofits that they put out, that they support. And that's what they do, motorcycles and music's our life. They were the last band to play Full Throttle Saloon before it burnt down years ago.
Oh, wow.
And after it got rebuilt, was it Jesse James Dupree and all them are co-owners of it and stuff, and he's founder of the band Jackal, for those that don't know.
Yes.
And the stage they were playing on in the part of the building that burnt down, they renamed the bar Big Engine Bar after they rebuilt it. And I think that might have a correlation because they were the last band to play. So they literally burnt the house down, was a joke behind the scenes, even though they didn't.
Right.
Just looking back on it now, yeah.
It's a good play on words. Brown Chicken says, Ray Gregory going to the camp out. He let me know yesterday he's not going to be able to make it.
But he said that in October too, and then what happened? He drove straight through overnight.
Yeah, he did. Shannon Thomas, our sister of conveyance. I'm well, thanks. Leaving out from home right now. Well, hopefully you got the truck nice and stocked. You're not hanging out at Walmart's getting all sorts of horrible foods. And safe roads for you there, Shannon. Starting the week off. Leaving Michigan, it's probably snowing there. If it's almost snowing in Indiana, it's probably snowing like crazy in Michigan.
I have kept tabs on the weather reports because I don't know which direction I'll be heading out of here. But Tuesday afternoon, it's supposed to get worse as time gets closer to Tuesday from today. So there may be drifts up to a foot, foot and a half, 2 foot across the Alleghenies in Pennsylvania.
Oof. Yeah, they were going to send me to Pennsylvania, but they sent me to Texas instead, and I didn't argue. I love the country that I'm driving through. Unfortunately, my clock doesn't reset till midnight, and I'm going to be driving through Moab at like 1 a.m, so I'm not going to see any of the cool stuff. But I'm in a hurry to get down to Roswell. I'll probably run out of hours near Roswell, almost Carlsbad. And I don't think there's much for truck stops out there, so I might be sleeping out in the desert. Tyke Truckin says, enjoy your home time, Shannon, although he, misspelled it. Shannon with the loves. Always good seeing you, Shannon. I hope you're doing well. Truckin' with T-Bone says, oh my, what do we have here? It's a secret meeting on the internet.
Yeah, where you at? Why ain't you in here on the stream catching us up to date with all you got going on, Mr. Chicken Man?
I'm starting to wonder if I'm still subscribed to his channel or if he just hasn't been putting stuff up.
Oh, he has.
Well, maybe I'm just not subscribed to his channel anymore. Guess I'm the asshole.
Nah, no telling.
Yeah, no, there is telling. Trust me. I'm surprised that I don't have a tattoo across my back, pointing down. No, asshole. Carrie's in the house saying, "What's up?" Exit only. Brown chicken
see.
dropping the
I
emoticons.
spoke. Yeah, I spoke to Carrie and Angry D's live stream for a few minutes Friday night before I fell asleep and went comatose. I didn't stay in there very long, so it was good to
Well,
see him over there. So, following what Angry D had going on Friday night in his
yeah,
madness.
yeah. Angry D is now Angry D because he got fired. Oh, we got a truck in the parking lot with straight pipes and stainless steel reefer spread axle. Look at that. Fun trucking right there. Unlike what I do, I drive a friggin' Tupperware box.
And I got a plastic Pete.
Woohoo! That's what she said.
Technically not true because the hood's fiberglass, the doors are skinned in aluminum, the sides of the bed, the sides of the bunk, or they're skinned in aluminum. So I mean, there's really not a whole lot of plastic in here.
I've seen an owner operator in Idaho yesterday, which you said the doors are skinned in aluminum. The guy had taken the paint off the doors and polished them to a mirror finish. I thought it looked so cool.
Maybe that's what I need to do with my driver door because you ain't the only one fussing about my door now.
Oh, good. Now that you got a secret admirer on your truck. There is a passenger door. Just saying.
Yeah.
If she goes in the passenger door, she ain't gonna look at how horrifically ugly your driver's side door is.
Everywhere we stop, she's been looking for stickers. Let's put this on the door. I'm like, let's just find a vinyl wrap shop that can match the color of the truck. And just vinyl wrap the door, be done with it in 30 minutes.
Yeah. You need a giant Hello Kitty sticker. I think that'd be cool.
Beavis and Butthead. No. Whoa, wait. My spirit animal. I need one with my spirit animal.
And your spirit animal is?
Scrat.
Yes. That's funny. My spirit animal is Grumpy Cat.
I thought it was Eeyore.
No, I hate Eeyore, the passion. Trucking with T-Bone. Yep, been snowing all day in Michigan. Haven't put up much, but posted the other day. Well, damn, I'm gonna have to friggin' see if I'm still subscribed to you, man. Rob on the road says nice. Mom says say hello to your top secret admirer. I'm not breaking the news. You can do that. Buck has a girlfriend. Tyke Truckin says my spirit animal is a wolf. Makes sense.
Do they even have wolves in the UK?
In the UK? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Shows you how much I pay attention to a country where it rains all the time.
It really is. It really is the Portland of the world. The Seattle of the world. It's funny I say that, but I've been to Portland and Seattle so many times, and I've rarely seen it rain there. I'm usually right as it ends, or on a nice sunny day. What do you think of the new Indian motorcycles, Buck? They've had a rebirth, haven't they? They've got new company owners and
the new CEO he's actually been interviewed by several of folks in our circle already
That's right.
of you know, Forgotten Angels benefactors and friends, you know, the YouTube creators and stuff. I'm not talking about Shade Tree. He hadn't interviewed him yet, but Blockheads interviewed him, and who else was it I watched the interview of that done it? Throttle and Iron. I think they just had
Okay.
him on.
And then Uncle Daddy, he had a little podcast where he just played the video from Indian Motorcycles, showing off the factory and the
Right.
discussion that is his name Tim Kennedy?
Mike Kennedy.
No, Mike Kennedy. That's right.
I'm not a Harley guy, but
So he's got quite a
resume to begin with.
yeah,
Those that don't know.
So he was with Harley for a while. He was with
28 years, and then he went to Vance and Hines, and then he went to Rumble On.
Now, what's Rumble On? I've heard that's a pretty big deal in the industry.
Network of used bike dealerships.
Okay.
So he's familiar with storefront presence as well,
And merchandise.
and working with franchisees, and merchandising and all that as well. That's a part of
Right.
his resume. So that's one thing that may benefit this new move even more, because as the other brand is forcing franchisees out of their network and dealerships are closing,
Yes.
they see a need now. This came from excerpts. This is not me putting words in his mouth, but I mean, basically, some excerpts I got from watching some of the interviews by the other YouTubers that now is the perfect time for the new Indian motorcycle to up its storefront presence and build a bigger network of dealerships. Not just for that main reason, but for the community and the customers to have more access, more closer to home for a lot of people that are in more of the outlying areas.
Now, do you think Indian will be forced to separate itself a little bit more from Polaris now, or do you think they'll just stay, kind of under the same roof as far as dealerships are concerned?
I don't really know all the details to all that. I mean, except for hearsay from what we've been all been witness to in the motorcycle news.
Right. So I heard there's two factories, right? So there's an engine factory in Minnesota, and then the actual assembly plants in Iowa.
Osceola, Iowa.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, Spirit Lake.
Spirit Lake. Yeah.
Yeah, Spirit Lake, Iowa. That matter of fact, that's where my Chief was built and assembled in 2022.
2022.
Yeah, and at that factory, there's an on-site Indian motorcycle museum as well.
I would love to see that. I love museums. You just did an oil change on your bike, right?
Yeah, it took longer configuring a drain pan to drain the oil into than it did to actually do the oil change.
Is it easier than doing a Harley?
One hole in, two holes out, and the two drain plugs are right beside each other for the engine and the transmission.
How did the fluids look as you were draining them? Because we've both of us have been putting that bike away wet.
Yeah, I mean there wasn't nothing. There wasn't nothing sticking to the magnets, so.
Good.
That it was a little overdue on its mileage and time. So it's not like I give the bike a full cavity search detail every time I put it back in the shop either.
Right, right.
I mean, I will wipe off the headlight and the turn signals and stuff like that, but I can't spend every way. It don't do a whole lot of good either, anyhow, because my bike itself, it's got the matte green paint, the matte black wheels. I mean, there's the only gloss black there is the frame and a
The
couple
frame,
of the
yeah.
electrical components that are gloss black to begin with. So, I mean, even after washing it, it's going to dry back to a matte finish anyhow. So,
Yeah. But it does clean up nice. That night that I spent cleaning it up, it looked pretty damn good. It looked good at the camp out too.
I think no, I didn't write it down there. I pulled it down. Never mind. I have ridden it down there once. So
You got to take it for a ride though recently, like after the oil change, right?
oh yeah. I had some legal stuff to handle and made a day trip of it, but didn't really make a day trip of it. It was like half a day, a couple hundred, maybe a couple 100 miles altogether in about 5 hours.
Can you tell the bike runs different after an oil change?
That's subjective. I mean, if I was to ride every day, I could probably notice it, but it's I swear, I mean, I had the fastest engine in the world, but I got the loudest. Jeez.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, but it's not, it's loud on cold start, and then it tones down after the cold start and after it warms up, and it's really not obnoxious until you get into it. So I really can't say much about it being loud other than it's not really, but it is at moments.
It sounds healthy. I rode it around the block a couple times there at Forgotten Angels, and it's nice. Very surprising. It don't sound completely like a Harley. I remember that YouTube short that I put out of you trying to get away from me when I was on the FJR. Everyone commented how great that bike sounded, even through my little BS microphone. Like, that's what a bike's supposed to sound like, and over the warm tones of a sewing machine trying to chase you.
I wasn't intending to catch you off guard, but
I was expecting it.
He's probably gonna goose it, yeah.
And he did.
Probably gonna try to outrun me. Yeah. I'm not predictable, am I?
No.
If anything, I am predictably unpredictable.
I saw enough open road after we made that turn that I knew something was going to happen. If not, I was going to leave you in the dust. You thwarted my plan. How many miles you got on the bike now?
It hurts my soul to say, because this whole last year it's been tough to put miles on it.
Yeah.
I mean, October 26th, I will have it 4 years, and I'm hoping to have 7,000 miles on it by then. Yeah, there's not many miles on it.
But you're the only owner. Well, that BMW that I got, I bought it with, I think, 7,500 miles, and I just hit over 10 on it now. But I've had the chance to ride a lot more than you.
I mean, even while I was off the road for the 2 months from Thanksgiving till just 3 weeks ago, things behind the scenes for me went dark as far as the YouTube stuff goes, for a reason. There was so many things I don't even know where to begin to try to catch everybody up on it. And I'm almost thinking it's best it stay where it's at, because that kind of stuff needs to stay where it's at. We got to think positive. We got to think because that's me. I mean, I can't.
Well,
I can survive
you
it.
seen that video that I put out? I think it was yesterday or the day before. Earl Nightingale is somebody that I listened to ever since I was a kid, and he talked about the winning attitude, and it's all about attitude in life. And towards the end of the video, he gave the 12 rules that we should all abide by, and one of them was about your personal business, keep it personal. So you ain't got to blab to me. You ain't got to blab on your own channel. Tyke Truckin says, no, we had wolves. They killed them all, and the bears wiped out. Well, damn. No more wolves and no more bears. Now there's no reason to go to the UK. I wanted to see the wolves. Big Dan says, Buck's bike is beautiful and sounds fantastic. It is a great bike. We got Nita in here. Are you pointing to somebody, an angel in your background being lit up by either the light, either the map light or the windows open?
The little voice on my shoulder.
Yeah. Listen, trucking's not for girls. No girls allowed. What are you doing? You're breaking the rules.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
Speaking of Beavis and Butthead.
The
Nita's
chair!
cooking
The
show.
chair! The chair!
Nita's cooking show. What happened to you? Is that your normal face? No, this is not my normal face. I'm wearing a disguise. We got the Frogzilla. He had a YouTube video come out a couple days ago. Always good to see the frog in here.
Frogzilla.
Brown Chicken saying hi to Frogzilla. Nita saying hi to Frogzilla. Frog saying hi to Buck Brown. Where's he at? Everyone's saying hi to each other.
It don't work me trying to look at the tablet to see the chat.
Nah, I'll just bring it up. Thomas Bailey says, thanks for trucking. Hopefully Google trucks won't replace truck drivers. We are unreplaceable, my friend. And the day that we get into well, it makes stealing freight. It doesn't come with a manslaughter charge. So I'm totally cool with self-driving trucks.
Well, on that topic, I don't know. You don't know what to trust on the internet these days. You don't know what not to trust, but allegedly Musk has mentioned that solo truck drivers should eventually have an AI robot passenger for to have on board for assisting in monitoring the surroundings and the mirrors and the operation of the vehicle and blah 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 blah.
Now that I would see as a threat to the type of work that we do, where I've got to jump up in the trailer or set load locks. I've got to pulp, fruit and vegetables and stuff like that. Like an actual autonomous robot would be a threat.
Yeah. What form would this AI entity come in? Would it be a box we have to carry around, or would it be an actual Android type mobile on its own kind of thing you have to plug in to recharge or whatever? Leave the science fiction where it belongs, in its own space.
Unfortunately, it's becoming a reality. I look at how much conspiracy theories in the last 20 years have just become reality. It is a
All right.
threat, but it's not happening immediately. Remember in 2016 when yeah, I think it might have even been earlier than that, maybe 2012, they said AI is going to take all the trucking jobs away and stuff. Well, it didn't happen. Instead, they took away all the jobs of, authors and paralegals and like
Well,
we
like
we
you know,
we didn't
like
get touched
Snorlord,
until
like yeah,
recently.
like Snorlord was touching on. You know, these AI brokers now,
Yes. Yeah,
and
which is a
the
pain in the ass.
I mean, a lot of these businesses, you know, plumbing companies, electrical companies, septic companies, for hire companies, and stuff, they're going to AI automated secretaries when you call, so they
Same
don't have to
as
have so they don't have to have office staff.
yeah, it's same as our friggin' doctor's offices and stuff. I go to that clinic there in Valdosta, and you call them, and it sounds like somebody picked up the phone. And I wound up leaving a message and stuff like that. And one of the nurses had called me back, and I was like, "Hey, I just talked to you," and she's like, "What?" And I was like, "No, I just talked to you. Like I was talking to you on the phone like about an hour ago. I told you, give you guys or have you call me back." And she's like, "Oh no, that's our AI office manager." And I was like, "Great." The whole time I was hitting on a goddamn robot.
Makes me feel sorry for these self-employed laborers and contractors that have their own business, and they set up their own AI secretary, and then the wife calls to try to leave the husband a message, and they're newly married, and she don't know that he's got an AI secretary, and she thinks
Yeah.
it's a real woman, and then she shows up at the job site or at the office, and there's nobody there, and she can't figure out where her husband's at, and then
Uh-huh.
it all comes into a big old argument, and it's not even a real secretary. It's one in the cloud,
Right.
and
Well,
all that fussing and arguing.
unless he downloads the AI into a sex robot, then I don't think it's cheating. That is going to happen, by the way. There's girls on OnlyFans right now that are complaining about the AI content that's putting them out of business.
You know why? Because there's idiots out there that are subscribing to it
Oh yeah,
and paying attention to it and paying for it.
nonstop.
Oh, and on the topic of AI, let's get off of trucking. Let's get off of this, and let's get into music. What is your take on the invasion of AI into the charts, the music charts?
Yeah. So one of my favorite follows on YouTube is Rick Beato, and every once in a while, people look at him and say, "Oh, gray haired boomer. He's old. Of course, he's going to complain about it." But the last video that he put up talking about AI is that there's artists on Spotify right now that are in the top 5 of all artists,
And
living
they're
or
not even
dead.
real.
They're not even real. They even have Instagram. And on Instagram, the artist that is supposedly at the top of the charts right now is saying in an Instagram reel, "I'm a real person. I don't know what you're talking about." And then the little badge on the bottom says AI created. And
Okay,
people people fall
if
for
you're a real person,
anything.
book venues and we'll come to your show live.
You'll never see, yeah, you'll
I
never
mean,
see him
now
play live.
being that I'm on this topic, for 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 those of us in our community that use it, they use it for their their own fun and their own entertainment. That's one thing.
Yes.
I mean, it's in the same wheelhouse, but you can't put it on the same playing field because
They're not becoming millionaires by
nah.
pushing Nora Jones off the top, or screwing up the revenue stream of the Rolling Stones or Toby Keith, or I mean just anyone at random.
And on the flip side to all this AI stuff, you probably noticed it like I have. More of artists of bygone days. They're starting to come back out of retirement and book live shows again, because that's what most of us want, is real life entertainment again, and
Exactly. And
reliving our youth again as
and
well.
and
So
and that's, I don't mean to spill the beans or anything, but like you go to a lot of live concerts and stuff, and there's no way AI is ever going to replace that. It's
no,
funny though, because in Korea and Japan and stuff, there are AI artists that yeah, this has been going on for years. They'll actually have a concert and everybody goes to a stadium and watches a giant monitor.
well, first off, kudos to them. Second off, they're idiots for doing it.
Yeah. I just
I mean,
I,
that's just
but
not my forte. But
yeah,
back to
and
my
you've gone to a lot of concerts and stuff. I'm more into like the small venues, like maybe 50 or 60 people, where I can actually see the artist or meet them.
well, uh, and me being able to do that, I've been afforded that through getting signed up to an organization that a lot of us, maybe some people in the chat, that if they're military veterans, I'm not endorsed by them. I'm subscribed to them. It's vettix.org. They provide free concert tickets, free event tickets. I get emails all the time, and I can set the parameter in my geographical area how many ever miles out I want from where I set up my profile address at. NASCAR tickets, Monster Jam tickets, and even Broadway shows. And I get emails all the time, for free tickets to the Opry and stuff like that.
Wow.
And they're provided by nonprofit organizations that donate to their cause to provide veterans who apply to that website, free entry to where they otherwise wouldn't be able to afford it.
Yeah,
Or
and
as a way
you've been
of
able to
and
take
as a way
advantage of
of
that
yeah, and as a
a
way of
bunch.
saying thank you for your service as well.
Right. I think it's awesome. I have seen a billboard for it somewhere in
Oh,
Oklahoma, I think.
yeah, they're in. I've seen them in Louisiana. I've seen
Yeah,
them in Arkansas. I've seen them in Texas. The
and
billboards you're talking about.
that's vettix.org. Do you know if it's
Yeah,
all one word?
yeah, vettix.org.
Very cool organization. Yeah, you get to
And
go to a lot of events.
and I try to make it count when I do. I mean, I didn't realize it until I started my journey on going to a lot of these shows and stuff. I've been accumulating autographed guitars. So it just happened, that's that's where I get some kind of, I get kind of choked up about it, because sometimes my favorite quote is, sometimes the sun shines on a dog's ass for once in a while. In other
Right.
words, when we do good things, sometimes they come back to us in ways we never expected. And I believe that's one of the ways it comes back to me, because I get to share in these moments and have those memories where I otherwise wouldn't have if I didn't take the opportunity. And that's why
Exactly.
I'm all the time preaching about air and opportunity. Because I mean, we have air in our lungs and there's opportunity in the air. So if I can do it on the budget I've got, which is pretty much non-existent, with learning to live again the last 2.5 years and moving forward in life and sharing the journey with folks like you and other folks in the chat and on my own YouTube channel. That's we all have a gift, as Steve Harvey would say, and it's up to us to find what our gift is and share it with the world.
That's true. That's true. Sometimes it's hard. You get caught up in your own mind and you forget about that pretty easily.
That's where the
That's why
human
you're
factor,
seeing.
the human factor comes into it.
Yeah, and that's why you're seeing the thrust towards content that I've been doing. You know, I'm staying pretty active on my channel because it does help me, and I do get a lot of emails from people. That the biggest request that I get on my channels is from the retired truckers who can't get out here and roll. There's a dozen or so people are just like, can you just make videos where you don't talk? I just want to hear the diesel. I just want to hear everything in your cab rattling because they miss it. You know, they came from a trucking industry that still had a culture, and it's almost non-existent today. But I mean, you've told me about this recently, that when we first got back out on the road, like you drove, you know, quite a while before you turned the radio on because you just wanted to hear the truck and the noises it made and get reacquainted with your truck.
No, yeah, because I mean, I was recently out of the military and had to make a decision, and that was about the time where the new emissions laws came into play too. All that stuff was brand new.
Right.
We didn't have the DEF systems, but they were starting to install the SCRs. And then they got into the DEF system, you know, as the second gen part of the emissions laws rolled out.
Yeah, they started with DPF and then rolled into SCR.
Yeah. Well, you get what I'm saying. And being that I grew up as a child being around trucks in the early 70s and stuff, I miss the old air starters.
Yeah.
I miss the twin stick Max. I miss the twin stack 379s and W9s out there.
So we're both fans of the very important documentary Maximum Overdrive. What was the coolest part of that movie, the trucks or AC/DC?
You couldn't have one without the other.
the air starters, Detroits, Big Cam Cummins, Cats. Oh, that movie had some of the best soundtrack of any trucking movie.
The opening to the movie hurt my heart when the AC/DC VW bus rolled down the bridge and got crushed.
Right. Which was always, and it was nice that Stephen King actually did that, because that was always a joke for truck drivers, that, you know, a Volkswagen bus is a rolling speed bump or a rolling Jersey barrier.
Right.
So it made sense that they made fun of the Volkswagen bus in that movie. Yeah.
And for anybody that didn't know about Stephen King, you could listen to his monologue talking about his documentary of making the movie and how
high on cocaine he was when he made it.
And well, not just that, but the fever dream that he had that sparked the dream about, you know, the monster trucks and this, that, and the other, and cosmic events and stuff. And then he was on his drug-fueled binge while writing the movie and producing the movie and directing the movie and everything else. Yeah.
And it's so funny that he doesn't like that movie at all.
That's why he went independent and the next year or two released the movie Trucks, because the studio took Maximum Overdrive and reworked it in ways he didn't approve of, and he wasn't a fan of it because they took his vision in a whole different direction.
Right. I remember that.
So yeah, that's why he's got two movies basically on the same topic.
Chasing Ghost has an important question. Is the AI passenger also going to replace lot lizards? If so, there will be support for it. We don't see lot lizards out here anymore. They don't really exist unless you go to West Memphis, and then that's where they're all in West Memphis. Oh my God.
I didn't see any the last time I was through there.
Not West Memphis. I'm sorry. Olive Branch. The Loves. I almost felt bad for a lot of them. I was like, you need to wear a safety vest, madam. I could barely see you until you smiled. Rob on the road said, I can blame my smuggled tobacco on the robot. Smuggled tobacco and wine. We know you got tobacco and wine on your truck. Jason Ghost says hi to Froggy. Drewski says inflatable Captain Steve from the Airplane movie. You remember that movie?
The pilot introduction in the cabin, in the cockpit.
Yes.
Over, done, over.
Tara's saying AI is hitting the white collar jobs too. Yeah, everyone's getting knocked out by it. Thomas Bailey says about the AI, the call center, they're aggravating. You have to scream to talk to a person. It's true. Anytime you pick up a phone and you think it's an AI, by law, they're supposed to answer whether or not they are. It's in the programming. So if you think you're talking to an AI assistant, ask it, are you an AI assistant? Can I please talk to a human? And they're supposed to do that. But I mean, what are laws and rules and regulations in America anymore? They don't really exist. That's why I had to change
stop signs. They're merely suggestions anymore.
Yeah, well, that's why I had to change my phone number. The previous person that had my phone number, she was an older lady, and she had answered too many of those, the Medicare, call this number, or we'll call you. We noticed you signed up for Medicare, and I started getting AI responses, and I kept answering it like an idiot. I have to answer my phone when it rings, and I kept telling it, lose this number. You've got the wrong number. And it started getting more and more and more aggressive to the point where I was like, screw it. I'll just change my phone number.
And a recent story I can relate to on that some folks know, because you touched on it when my mom was in the hospital just after the first of the year, and I stayed with her to get her through her procedure. And the hospital admissions staff made us aware that the phone in the room was going to ring every 5 minutes, and it was probably going to be a AI scam or telemarketer. So we just left the phone off the hook after the first 10-15 minutes of being in the room, because it rang every 5 minutes, and it was something about, you come up on our call list, and we want to make sure your Medicare benefits are up to date, blah 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 blah.
Yep.
And
yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Back home in Reno, well, my old home. If you lived in Reno, you would actually get phone calls from Renown, which is our county hospital. And one of the nurses had hacked into the phone system and was using that to help, hackers and stuff. So you'd see an actual, hospital phone number would come up on your phone. Of course, you're going to answer it. And it would be, hey, we noticed your car warranty is bad and you need Medicare.
Okay.
The Crafty Grower, a friend of Big Dan. I'm training right now how to use AI for my job, which is code for please train this AI to take over your job. It's true. It's true. There's no stopping it, but try to hedge your bets, buy plenty of gold and silver.
On that topic, one of your more recent videos were talking about how we need to keep old technology around us, like our CBs, for a reason. For a reason.
Yes. Not only that, but I've kind of gone down a bit of a rabbit hole with there's a prepper that I've been following for years, and the last year his content has really absolutely exploded. Very interesting stuff. And he's from Southern California, where I grew up, and he's been exploring a lot of these old places that I remember as a kid. There's a lot of stuff in the desert that just gets abandoned. Northrop Grumman abandoned stuff, and Lockheed abandoned stuff, and old farms and stuff. There's all sorts of crazy stuff in the deserts of Southwest. and I think it's oh geez, I can't remember the name of the fucking channel there. I'll share it later. But he says to keep your old smartphones, even when the EMP attack hits or whatever is going to happen. Like your smartphone has the ability to zoom in just like a pair of binoculars, and you can still use maps and stuff like that. And but like you were saying, we need to keep our CBs, and we need to keep our walkie talkies, and you know our weather
Because one
band
thing history
radios.
is one thing history is has been good at teaching us is it's just doomed to repeat itself.
And right now it's just rhyming. We're seeing a lot of stuff in society going crazy, but it's not completely repeating itself. A lot of people claim that our president is as close to a German leader in the 40s as it can get, but those of us are have an actual brain in our head, see that that's not the true reality. Nobody's getting loaded into trains and thrown into ovens right now.
No, and
But
that's
there's a lot of people that are running by feeling over fact and logic, and those people need to be
are
avoided.
gonna yeah they're they're gonna be the ones left out in the rain when the storm hits. Unfortunately,
They're
I
going to
mean
be the ones in the way. When
not
when somebody screams fire in a building, everyone runs for the door. They're the
I
people
mean
blocking the doorway.
not not to take this religious either. And we're talking about political stuff, but not to get too religious either, or not beat the cover off a Bible here. But I mean, Noah was given a specific set of instructions to build the ark.
Yes.
We don't know if it's true or not, but we have to believe in not just that, but we have to believe in something that's greater than ourselves, and that's what brings us together as people from different walks of life, even those in the chat that support Forgotten Angels. That's a cause greater than ourselves, and that's kind of where I'm going with that parallel about Noah building the ark. He had a specific set of instructions, and if he didn't follow them, who knows what the outcome would have been. And that's kind of like what we all do as a collective for the greater mission of being a part of something greater than ourselves, such as Forgotten Angels.
Yeah, it's last October was my first time visiting it, and you and I have had many discussions about my social anxiety and stuff like that, and it
And
was
you still
so
had
cool.
you yeah, I'm interrupting you because you had to see it to believe it for yourself. I couldn't convince you myself telling you my perspective, even though
Nope.
you asked my perspective and you wanted my take on it.
Yep.
I knew it was going to take you getting out of your comfort zone and pulling the trigger and saying, yeah, I'm going to go and
Yeah.
work through your anxiety. Well,
And it was so cool to
there's
see all different walks of life that were there. There was people that are, you get the impression that, oh, it's a biker camp out. No, it's not. It's good people. It's not all rowdiness and craziness and all that. I mean, there is some, but it's such a great mixed mash of good people that all, like you say, believe in something greater than themselves.
well, knowing that I met you and I met several people that are in the chat in person at Forgotten Angels, I'm gonna say this, and I'm pretty sure she'll chime in and agree that there's no way you in God's green earth that you and Chasing Ghost aren't related somehow, some way, because of your mind process, your thoughts, your
Oh yeah.
mannerisms.
Yeah.
I mean, your love for musical
Yeah.
instruments, and it's not just trucking. It's not just Forgotten Angels.
It's funny
It's
because I'm not very good at saying
she's
hi or
not real good at
hello or good morning or anything like that. So me and her, we just fire texts off at each other all the time, and there's no highs or hellos or how you doing or anything like that. It's so
she's not big
wonderful.
on she's not big on being around a whole bunch of crowds and a whole lot of people either. But just a little over a year ago, she took that homage and she made that trip, and she's got
And she
memories that
she
can't nobody
rode
take from her.
she rode all the way from Texas.
I think she said it was 1,065 miles or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, or 1,100 miles one way.
Yeah, she's just outside of Houston, isn't she?
Yeah.
Mom says, okay, boys, gonna eat now. Got doctor appointment tomorrow. Call me later. Love y'all. All right, Mom, I'll
Me
get you
too,
some
Mom.
food.
She's probably already off because
Yeah.
you're an hour behind the comments.
No, I'm not. I'm
No,
10
you're only
minutes
like,
behind. Settle down. Do, 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 do. Donna Lee Montgomery says, Sterling, you need to come back to Florida. I'll buy you dinner. Please do. I had a terrible dinner here in Green River, Utah. There's a new Mexican restaurant that took over the Four Winds, and way, way, way too much salt. I'm trying to water myself down to get all the salt out of me right now, but yeah, I'm suffering. And the one time that I wished to have a nice sit down meal, and it was junk. And I've got food in the fridge. I should have just made something. But yeah, Donnelly, anytime. Let me know where you're at in Florida. And anybody watching this show, you're more than welcome to buy me a dinner or a coffee. Just got to space it out, though. I'm kind of getting fat over here. Tara says, Buck is one of my favorite people ever. He's all right. He's okay.
I'm sorry to burden you with that responsibility, sis. My apologies. Oh, I did think about you, Sterling, and not to get off topic, but yesterday coming across 70, there was one of these Canadian trucking outfits that passed by me, and I could look in my mirror and I could see dangling. He had it tied to his passenger seat, and it was swinging back and forth, and it was a yellow chicken.
Oh, nice.
But day
You said
before yesterday,
you said foreign outfit. I was thinking it had the doilies and the windshields.
no,
One that's got the
some
crazy
Canadian
Arabic
company.
writing.
No, it was some Canadian company, but this one back here spotted something that I did spend like $3 on day before yesterday, and I've been debating on whether I give it to you in person or leave it on the counter at the table on the camper, and you just find it on your own.
Uh-oh.
But you don't have one. But if I show it to you, you'll make it your mission to get you one of your own, because you done that with Clear Chicken. So
yes, I did.
You could not wait for me to mail you the one I had for you.
Wait.
So
you said you only spent $3 though.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a giant chicken, because those are $60. And then the micro chicken.
All right, I'm gonna let the chat decide. Chat, should I show him on the live stream now, or let him suffer and wait?
I don't like suffering. I'm gonna get some more comments though. I did get far behind. Thomas Bailey says we're doomed. AI is taking over. It's fine. It'll be fine. All you gotta do is shut the power off and learn how to raise chickens. Chasing Ghosts. I have friends who lost their customer service jobs 5 years ago because AI gotten so good that you cannot tell the difference. It's true. We have AI customer service that has a Pakistani accent now. So now you really can't tell. It's true, Buck. Donnelly saying hi to Sterling. Sup, Sterling? You good? We're doing okay. I'm suffering a little bit too much. I picked the worst day because I haven't had any soda or anything like that, so I've got a caffeine withdrawal. And then I went into that Mexican restaurant and had 4 pounds of salt and some carne asada. Chasing Ghost says, I'm real. I'm not polished. I'm not pretty. I don't sound like an angel, but I'm real. Sounds like me.
And I happen to know for a fact her EDC ain't no joke.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tara says, Buck has met me.
And right about now, you're asking yourself,
I hope it's an
did I
HK
did
or a
I did I
Desert
shoot?
Eagle.
Did I pull the trigger 5 times or did I 6?
Yeah.
So, do you feel lucky, punk? Well, do you? Jeez.
Lolly's saying the older generation wants live shows. The younger generation is used to AI and robotics and want it. It's a difference in culture. It really is. Legal Lolly says anime. Yeah, they've had anime concerts for 10 years now. Go up there and watch cartoons with 10,000 other like-minded people in Japan.
Oh, and
Chasing Ghost says,
don't forget about the K-pop craze.
that's, yeah.
And that's not
Crazy.
really AI. That's not really AI. That's South Korean boy bands
Yeah.
and girl bands.
Which, it's just,
and
I
that's
tried
just the
list-
South Koreans. That's just the South Koreans trying to embrace our Western culture
yes.
and interpret it their way.
Well, it's what they saw of our culture because, you know, Backstreet Boys and all that crap was pumped over their elevators and shopping malls for years. Chasing Ghosts says AI would have to be holographic. Will probably someday be a holographic AI Elvis concert.
There was already a holographic Michael Jackson concert, what, 10,
Uh,
15 years ago?
Tupac.
No, there was a Michael Jackson holographic concert too, about 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, Tupac was first, and then Michael Jackson, and then I think there's a couple others that have been pretty recent. People watch anything. Thomas Bailey says Kiss is working on an AI group, and they have those holograms in Vegas. Yeah, but Kiss sucks, so it's fine. Donna Lee saying life is only what you make of it. No time to dwell. You're your mind's best power tool. Have to make your life wonderful. Life's too short not to enjoy. Exactly. Buck has taught me that lesson as well.
No, you've just been.
You're one of the few. You're one of the few people I listen to.
You've just been in the wrong place at the wrong time to witness chaos in reality. The chaos that YouTube don't see.
Yeah. We got Moto Bomber Virginia saying woot. Good seeing here, Moto Bomb. Always good to see Moto Bomb. Yeah. Everyone's saying hi to
my fellow veteran. It's needing to help me and needing to navigate.
Needs to go to the VA. For Christ's sake, get yourself down there. He gets so worried about going live every morning. He needs to just jump on the motorcycle and go down there. Hit the thumbs up, peoples.
Starting the process can be a bit daunting. It's like re-enlisting in the military again, but it's set up that way by intent. It's to
prevent abuse.
It's to deter you from gaining the benefits you've earned, so they can use those resources in how they see fit if they don't have to apply them to a veteran that has earned them and has reached out for them.
Yeah, you're talking about a bureaucracy. You know, it's going to run like a bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Motorbomb says, "Good to see you, Buck."
I am not a figment of your imagination.
Motobomb Virginia says, "How was Sterling? Hope keeping up good spirits. About time for another BMW ride soon." Yeah, I've been struggling. You might have noticed in my motor vlogs, you know, driving around here trucking with the camera stuck to my head.
I put the last quarter mile on it.
You rode it for BMW. A quarter mile? I told you to ride for like 15 miles. I told you to take your sweet girlfriend that's hiding in the sleeper right now for a ride.
I had to make do with the time I had.
Yeah, you were in a hurry. The timing for you getting home, taking care of your business, and then hitting the road while our friend Keyfob went through his
Yeah.
stuff.
And desperately wanting to visit.
You didn't get a chance, did you?
No,
He's in Valdosta right now. So next time you get home, there's a better chance.
he's the other side of town from us. But
Okay.
it's still a 20-minute ride. I mean, it's not far.
Yeah. So Buck and I are talking about our friend Key Fob.
Actually, Key Fob's not 5 minutes up the road from Davis Import.
My new favorite Volkswagen shop in the whole world.
Yes. He's not 5 minutes up the road from that shop.
Very cool. So our friend Matt, you might know him as Adventures of Key Fob. He had a pretty bad motorcycle accident on the way to work a couple weeks ago now. And he got banged up pretty bad and had to be hospitalized and have his hip rebuilt and a couple other things. And he got out of the hospital a few days ago now, and he's at home recuperating. And they've got a crowdfund through the Law Tigers. I don't think I have the link here in front of me, but I do have Matt's Cash App. That's the easiest way to help them. So if you want to scan that, if you're watching this on a computer, if you want to take a screenshot of that, you can also look it up on your phone later. So that's his direct Cash App, and then his wife's Cash App right there if you want to surprise Key Fob, if you want to donate without him finding out. Keep it a secret. But yeah, he had a really bad motorcycle accident, and that was the last time. That was last October at the Forgotten Angels campout. He'd spent a week there helping out. There's always a need for volunteers at the Forgotten Angels, and he comes there about a week or two early and helps with cleanup and preparing the grounds and the sites and all that stuff. And Forgotten Angels is an absolutely beautiful property. I was absolutely there's nothing I could do with all my cameras and my drone.
None of the content that anybody posts that is in the YouTube world about Forgotten Angels captures the true essence.
And no, you can't capture the spirit. You know, and that's what I told David. You know, I was like, this place is magical. And he's like, spit it out. What do you really think? I was like, seriously, I feel like I'm a kid at Disneyland. And just knowing that where my donations have gone, and you know, you can meet people that they've helped. You know, both Dave and Cindy, you could stop them mid conversation and they'll tell you stories and oh, it's just absolutely amazing.
And for everybody in the chat that didn't know, the first thing I showed you when you got there, we walked around from the campsite, and I showed you a couple of the young men's homes, and we walked around the front by Dave and Cindy's house. First thing I pointed out to you was the stage I got my Mohawk on.
Yes. Yeah. That was funny.
Same stage we debuted the Dark Knight on as well.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah, and then
that bike is living under a tarp in Binghamton, New York.
Uh-oh. Well, due to weather issues?
Yeah. But the new custodian and caretaker, Mr. Holmes, he has upgraded the headlight to an LED headlight.
Okay.
He's got either 12 or 16-inch apes he's fixing to put on it.
Wow.
But he's keeping the parts that come off of it for posterity's sake, to keep the original parts with it as he got it.
Very good.
So that does make me appreciate the how the story progresses with it. So
TJ Bull of the Woods, I was recently in his neighborhood, but he wasn't able to visit because he welcomed in a grandbaby. He is an old chiseled grandfather now. Grandpa
His first?
Sasquatch.
Is that your first, TJ?
I'm not sure if it's his first or not.
I'm not sure either. He's never really
But
mentioned.
as long as we can make fun of how absolutely old and crusty he is, I'm gonna take it. Good seeing you, TJ.
Well, that's another face we haven't seen yet.
What, TJ?
Yeah, I haven't.
He's been on my channel once before, I think. Yeah. Donna Lee, in schools, phones are used. Yeah, that's another thing. I couldn't imagine what it would be like in a classroom now that everyone's got a cell phone. Like, how do you teach a lesson when all the kids could just be like Encyclopedia Britannica.org and just friggin' why even go to school?
When I was in elementary school, I remember the set of encyclopedias I got for Christmas.
All
And that was the whole
227
world.
pounds.
Each book was by alphabet,
Yes.
by letter in alphabet. Interesting.
And now, we've got a phone that weighs less than a quarter pound. And it has more information. TJ Bull of the Woods saying, "What's up?" Yeah, I passed through his side of the country. We're in Green River, Utah now. Cheap Freight Hauler saying, "Good evening, everyone. Good seeing you here, man. We're only 20 minutes behind in the comments. Good times." David Edwards has escaped the hospital. He's doing well. He's at home, I think. Actually, he might be trucking by now. He might be trucking. He had a slip and fall accident at a truck stop and wound up getting fluid on his lungs, in his chest, and had to get it drained out and stuff. So be careful, kids out there in the snow and the ice and freshly washed floors. And if you fall at a truck stop, scream, "Ow, my lawyer, call my lawyer." Whiplash. Works every time. Donna Lee saying, "Strong mind, strong will." Exactly.
And
Chasing
on that
Ghost
topic,
is talking about Forgotten Angels, saying every race, creed, and color, left, right, in between, all gathered for a common cause.
right.
What were you saying there, Buck?
I forgot where I was going with it. That's just scrat moment.
Chasing
Not
Ghost
squirrel,
says,
scrat.
squirrel. It's right at 1,000 miles from my front door to Forgotten Angels. So she rode 2,000 miles because she had to go home too.
Yeah.
Brutal. I was looking at Airbnbs there in Valrico, and I can get one that's like 3 miles from Forgotten Angels for $180 for 3 days. But I haven't decided if I'm
3 miles from Forgotten Angels takes 20 minutes.
Unfortunately, I learned that lesson.
It's kind of like the interstates.
if you've had a couple drinks, let's just say you got to, yeah, it's more like 30 minutes.
Around that area, it's kind of like Spaghetti Junction in Atlanta. You got to be in the right lane at the right time too.
Yes. And they're not very friendly to motorcycles that like to split lanes. I learned that one real quick. So I don't know if I'm going to get a Airbnb or just a cheap tent and stuff. Yeah, the weather's going to be pretty good in March, right?
It's usually nice. It's not as humid and muggy as it is in October.
October wasn't too bad. Either that or I was having so much fun it didn't matter. I think that's what it was.
It was enjoyable. You acting like a kid in a candy store.
Let's just say Hawaiian shirts are appropriate there. Absolutely appropriate attire. Lolly's saying
for the weather, but helps you blend in.
Yeah, I didn't stick out like a sore thumb with my flamboyant BMW motorcycle or my brightly colored friggin' tie-dyed Rap Star shirt or my Hawaiian shirts. Or when I rode around the campground playing Shade Tree's theme song. It was good times. Lolly, when you find your peoples, you're home. It's true. And everybody knows that I struggle with the feeling of home. And there's only a couple places that I feel at home anymore, and Forgotten Angels is right at the top of that list.
It's more of a state of mind than it is a physical location.
It is.
Remember that.
It is. Yeah.
It's a lesson I had to learn the hard way. I'm sure a lot of us can relate.
It's tough feeling at home in a semi truck, I'll tell you that.
But you got this to think about too. A lot of the folks in the chat and a lot of the folks in the Forgotten Angels family and other YouTube entities and stuff, look at the network that we have no matter where we go.
Yeah.
That we can stop and visit with if time allows.
Yeah.
And if it works out on on the other party's end as well. I could have yesterday when I came through across Illinois, I could have stopped again and spent the weekend with a couple other friends that were, supporters of Forgotten Angels. And the scheduling and trying to squeeze into 34 and needing to be as close to Indianapolis as I could. There was, like you being in TJ's neck of the woods, it didn't work out in the cards this trip.
Yeah, sometimes we get in a hurry and we can't really sacrifice even the 30 minutes. I'm battling my recap hours and stuff like that. I got to try to stay on schedule as much as I can. That midnight clock keeps saving me. So there's been a couple people I haven't been able to visit on these trips. Donna Lee is in Sebring, Florida. Beautiful area of Florida, by the way.
Oh, she's probably neighbors. She's probably neighbors to a good friend of mine that is one of the logistics managers for one of the largest food grade tanker companies in the country. That's right up the road from her in Lake Wales, and he lives in. He's an old Army veteran as well, so I stay in touch with him quite often, and we've ridden motorcycles together before as well. So there's a lot of common interests, a lot of similarities in our personal lives as well as it was our professional lives when he was managing the terminal in Savannah and I was working there on the yard as the trailer manager, the yard pool manager then.
Right.
That was back up. That was up until 2018 when I left that company to move back to Valdosta and do something different.
Right.
So.
David Edwards says, reality hit me in the face today. I'm not ready to be back on the road yet. I seen your text in the background, Dave. If I can send you a link, I will here in a second. David Edwards. We'll check in with you a little bit. You still got some time, right, Buck?
Oh yeah. Like I said, we're just chilling out, watching the sunset. The parking lot lights has come on, and I can look up in there and see the flurries a lot better now that they're lit up. Now that they're illuminated.
Right.
Let me use big boy words.
Cheap freight hauler. I'm about to head to y'all's neck of the woods. Got to stop in Moultrie tomorrow.
Ooh.
Well, stop by our house and check the mail.
The neighbors has got it on lockdown.
Good.
They're good. But yeah.
Tara says, if I were a flip-flop trucker, I'd be probably missing toes right now. She literally stepped on an alligator. You hear about that?
No.
There was an alligator sitting underneath her rig, and she scared it. It tapped her boot.
Holy shit. Hang on a second. I think somebody just backed into my trailer. Or the wind is ticking up. Hang on.
I'll keep you in the background.
No.
We TJ good. Says, show them now.
We good. It's just the wind picking up.
Okay. SST is saying happy Ramadan, you infidel. Is it Ramadan? Let me check my calendar.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I wasn't in Iraq. I was in Iraq during Ramadan, and it ain't that time of year, I don't think.
Donna Lee says, Sterling, I'd feel like a schoolgirl if I met you. You're hot. I'm a biker girl. Uh-oh. Buck, I'm in trouble. Donna Lee's got the hots for me.
Wait till
Don't
she
te-
meets you. She'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, once she stops vomiting, she'll be all right. Or when she says, that's not a Harley. What kind of weird motorcycle is that? It's all right. I love my abrasive personality. Oh, and Tara had an a near incident yesterday. She was nearly pinned by her trailer by a 30 box. Hell of a week. She almost got squished between a trailer.
That equipment that she
The
operates.
the nightmare fuel that she constantly texts us.
Well, let's just say that one of the alphabet entities would have a field day.
And we're talking about DOT.
I mean that no, that would
OSHA,
be one. The four-letter one, yeah,
MSHA.
that one,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one, OSHA.
yeah.
She's a better person than I am.
Chasing Ghost says Smith and Wesson 329 PD 44 mag. 44 mag.
I tried to
Fuck.
tell you. I tried to tell you.
Jesus, Buck.
I
Damn it.
tried to tell you.
Wow.
I tried to tell you.
Jesus. SST says
You had to read it for yourself.
Big blizzard hitting New York. Big Dan's up by the Finger Lakes. He might tell us about it. I don't think you ever get to New York, do you?
I actually did not long after the camp out. Remember, I went up to Oswego.
That's right.
I went right up through where he's at. I mean, I was within probably 10 minutes of him when I passed through on interstate.
That's right. That's
and
right.
I had to get on up. I had to get on up there because of the dispatch being so tight. Yeah.
David Edwards, allegedly, us truck drivers never say what we actually carry. Smith & Wesson MP9. Good one. Donna Lee's hitting on me. Sterling, do you ride horses? Nope, too fat. Horses ride me. I have a weird fear of horses. Only because when I was a kid, my uncle's horse chased me across his friggin' field.
Did he have a clown mask on?
No. But by the time my aunt and uncle were done laughing, they're like, yeah, you shouldn't have been out there. That horse is psychotic. I was like, thanks. Oh.
But yeah, I'm not gonna say that my EDC's a Ruger LC9S either.
Cool. I miss things that I used to carry. David Edwards says, please don't get me going about the VA. He's seen it from all angles.
If we stay in the system long enough, they see us from all angles.
Right.
Eventually. Matter of fact, March the 24th, I have an appointment in Lake City at the VA for my annual CAT scan for my lungs, because I'm in that thing about the PACT Act. And if you read up on the PACT Act, it's open to veterans to apply for that were a part of any of the Gulf Wars, and I was a part of Iraqi Freedom, and that's, PACDAC is basically like it's the modern day version of what Agent Orange was in Vietnam.
Yes.
It's the being around the toxic chemicals, being around the burning tire pits and
Yeah,
burn
rubbish.
pits, and
yeah.
that's why they have to do an annual CAT scan on my lungs to see if there's been any traceable or accountable damage to my lungs due to my exposure
Right.
while in country.
Anything going weird. Chasing Ghost is doing a live Terra here in a little bit, probably. Any donations on my live are still going to Key Fob. This month, usually it's added up on the 21st of every month for my YouTube revenue. All of my YouTube revenue will be donated to Key Fob. I'm going to donate it probably through their crowd fund, which is sponsored by the Law Tigers. Check out Adventures of Key Fob. Check out his YouTube. Any of you that have the link can drop it in the comments and I'll pull it up as well. I don't remember the exact link. But yeah, we're pulling together for Key Fob. Thomas Bailey says it's a miracle that Matt survived and has been released. He's doing okay. He's a strong dude. He's got a great spirit. Donna Lee says, my hubby was disabled service connected. Now I get his pension and free government insurance. They take better care of me than my hubby. We've seen that. I know mom gets taken care of pretty well.
And yeah, I'm trying to drop it in the chat now.
Yeah, you can do that if you got the link. It'll take me an hour to get to it though. Sorry to hear your hubby passed away, Donnelly.
It's relatable to some of us.
Yeah. Big hugs.
Just saying. Go to my YouTube channel to find out. Not promoting my channel by no means, but
you can promote
my
your
very
channel.
first
Come on
my
now.
very first live stream. Start talking about my relatable situation with regards to my late wife.
Mm-hmm. SST says, pain and injuries aside, the suffering from wrecking the old lady's bike is yet to begun. Prayers to Key Fob. He crashed his wife's motorcycle. Yes, that's the running joke. And it had a brand new tire on it.
I did see a meme that I sent to him day before yesterday, before he got released to the hospital. So, yeah, I know what happened in your accident, but when people ask me what happened to you, I'm gonna tell them you had a pole dancing accident.
Yes.
And he replied back, I will sign off on
it. He would.
It was good to know that he was still in good spirits, and he's remained in good spirits, because that's a lot to handle, and in a lot of ways that's the best way we can handle something this serious.
He he was riding early in the morning. He was going to a new job that he'd started about a week earlier.
And inclement weather, fog.
Yeah.
There's a lot of contributing factors to that.
Well, every contributing factor you can think of is there. And so you never know when it's going to happen.
Not saying anything about that logging company per se, but just after my time in the military and I was medically discharged, the first job I took back driving a truck was for a friend of mine hauling logs. So my first experience back civilian life was being around logging and the log trucks, the log trailers, and having to pull the logs out of the woods and take them to the mill and come back. It's run and gun. It is. Every load's time sensitive. And
we're not gonna say too much about the incident because it is under litigation. But when we heard that it was that the kind of industry that you know, we see that early in the morning. It's, you know, like you said, it's run and gun. You got to
And
be
not only
careful around
that,
those drivers because they're in a
the only
hurry, and
the only
sometimes, you know, light issues and mechanical issues and neglect, and there's a lot of
yeah,
factors.
I I was witness to that in 2011, and that was, like I said, 15 years ago now.
I keep meaning to
And
get those pictures and make a video out of it, you know, with your help.
no, the I think one of the last times I was on a live stream, you were asking me about my accident
Yeah,
involving a log truck,
yeah,
and that was when I was working for another company before I went in the military, and I was hauling milk, which we've talked about it here before. But yeah, those I got to get those pictures are right there in that drawer
yeah,
in the under the seat, that first
yeah.
drawer.
I keep meaning to, you know, maybe collaborate and we can make a video out of that, and you can make it a teachable lesson.
Yeah, and similar scenario. It was 5:30 in the morning. There was warnings. There was warning signs out, posted smoke fog ahead,
Uh-huh.
which there was stuff that was in place to give you fair warning in advance, but still, the conditions were so bad that I couldn't even be going 20 mile an hour. And my incident, we'll go into that some other time again
Yeah.
when we got we can do the show and tell.
Yes. Yeah. Tara's saying stepfather went into the VA last week. They put him in a hospital. Called my mom. She couldn't remember why after a week. Sister filled me in abscessed tooth infection. He's a Vietnam veteran.
You can relate to tooth abscesses.
I know. That's how I met your mom. She met me at the dentist after they extracted it. Tara says she's worried about her mom now too. We gotta watch our parents sometimes. They get a little crazy.
The older they get, they turn into, they become kids again.
Yes, they do. All that drunk driving and running around town, you know, it's terrible. You got to watch out who are their friends, you know? Are they hanging out with a bad crowd?
And it's just human eventuality for us all in our own way, because it's going to hit us differently.
It is. You know, I remember when my grandma was going through her stuff. This is back when I was a little kid, and you know, I was just a little kid, and I remember asking mom, it was like, why do babies go? You know, why do we start off in diapers and then we die in diapers? And she goes, well, you know, that's just the tale of time. Grandma
Circle
had
of life.
yeah, circle of life. Grandma had and this is like in the late 80s, early 90s, colon cancer. And they had to put her on, you know, ostomy bag and a whole bunch of other stuff. And that's all frightening for a kid to see, you know.
Yeah, when we have children, we put them in Pampers and Huggies, and then when they get older, it just depends on what adult diaper we buy them.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
It depends. Sweet Sweet Jody's in here. Jody Genealogy. She's got a great channel. Saying, hey everyone. She is the wife of Backyard Trucker. He's got a good channel as well. They're good people up in the land of Michigan. We got Jerry. I lived out of those trucks for years also. Logging trucks? Was he a logging truck driver or a semi-truck driver?
He told me he drove, but he didn't go into any specifics. But he and I are both. He and I are both, Army veterans as well. So we have that brotherhood as well.
I just assumed he was drunk and telling stories. You can't trust anybody at Forgotten Angels. Just saying.
So
he's making me a metric cowbell, by the way, for the BMW.
I'm not letting go of mine for nothing, because
Because he spelled it wrong.
It is definitely one of a kind. Let's just say that.
Yeah, he'll never make another one like that ever. We won't let him live it down. TJ Bull of the Woods says, "Hey SST, not quite yet. SST had said that his babies have grandbabies.
I'm
No, he's
pretty
just got the
sure
one.
during the time he was painting on mine, he was probably a 12-pack into that damn Twisted Tea, and it twisted his letters around.
Yeah, Twisted Tea will sneak up on you. You gotta be careful of that stuff. Yeah. Donna Lee says, we today just got our last cold front here in Florida, down there in Sebring. I love that
Oh,
area.
and pre-camp out warning to anybody in the chat that may attend. Do not take up Jerry's offer to put the first mile on the Grom. Public service announcement.
Why?
I mean, it's an honor, and it's an honor because every year we try to put more miles on the Grom. Every camp out, we try to put more miles on the Grom than the previous camp out. Well, camp out before last, this idiot saw him unloading his bike and his Grom, and I went over to him and was helping him get his stuff off the bike and get it unstrapped and stuff. I said, well, shit, I know about this challenge. I'm going to put the first mile on it. He said, I'll give you something for putting the first mile on it. I get back after putting the first mile on it. He hands me the oil change kit.
Oh.
So I learned how to do I learned how to do an oil change on the Grom. And it was more intensive. It was more labor intensive to do the oil change on his Grom than it was my Indian.
The Indian? Oh.
Believe it or not.
That honestly wouldn't bother me. I'd do an oil change. That'd be fun. Jody saying hi to Donna.
See, that's a memory can't nobody take from me.
No.
And I'm sharing it to forego someone else's demise. Don't do as I do.
Yeah, I need to be the second person to ask him to ride the Grom then.
No, to put the first mile on it.
Yeah. TJ says, yes, it's Ramadan. Our Sasquatch from the PNW knows it's Ramadan. I didn't know Sasquatches were Muslim. That's weird. It's Ramadan. I celebrate it with Mexican food.
It must be a biannual thing. Pilgrimage.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'm parked facing Mecca. Does that count? Bull of the Woods TJ says, I've increased my bacon intake. That's the proper American attitude.
Here's a recipe for you. Bacon wrapped bacon with bacon barbecue glaze sprinkled with bacon bits.
Yes. Agreed. In buffet form. Donna Lee Montgomery says, if you come to Florida or swamp puppies, gators, you'll learn how to live with gators. They're everywhere. I'm not scared of gators. After we went to the little gator park, I drug Sick Bastard and Key Fob and Ray Gregory. So we got to hang out with the gators. That was a fun video. I hope if you get to Forgotten Angels next month, Buck, that we get to go on some rides.
If it works out.
You were a very busy boy the last time you were at Forgotten Angels. We didn't get a whole lot of riding time together. Although I was honored to chase you on your motorcycle while you and the beautiful Erica went for a ride on the BMW. That was the first time that she'd been on the road, right?
Yeah, and I got to give you a tour of the neighborhood and point out key features that were related to Forgotten Angels. Remember?
Yes. Yeah.
We stopped and saw the Adderley house.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's good times. Beautiful neighborhood.
So I mean, there were concessions made for a little bit of free time.
Yeah, you need more though. You know, Key Fob and all of us, we'd planned on doing a cow ride. You know, because last time with Big Dan and everybody, we went. Well, the first day was Gator ride, trying to scare the crap out of Eric.
Yeah,
And then the next day was cow ride, and then we want to continue with the cow ride, but go see the manatees. Guess there's a manatee preserve down there near Tampa.
hmm Well, it's not really
And
a preserve. It's just where they migrate
right, so
because they're a
I
protected species. They go where they want to go, and
yeah, kind of like me, you know,
that's like
not
the
just in
free range.
size, but in
That's like the free range chickens downtown Ybor City. Do not
yeah,
disturb the chickens downtown Ybor.
yep, yep.
They're,
I
they're
saw a bunch of them.
yeah.
Same with Key West. We got a bunch of the chickens running around Key West, but in honor of Key Fob, because I know he's not going to be able to make it at least in riding condition. I still want to make sure that the cow ride happens and document it and make sure I've got my cameras and all that stuff. And I've got a hankering for getting home pretty soon because I want to do some motorcycle trips and I want to visit, you know, Brainy and Key Fob and make sure they're doing okay. And I've been out a little bit too long. I miss home. And of course, every time I say is, "Hey, can you roll me through home?" And then I'm in friggin' Yakima, Washington yesterday.
Well, I was speaking of that. I was hoping to get back through to get some more of this other stuff handled. That's kind of time sensitive on the backside of the YouTube stuff. And here I am in, central Indiana.
Right.
So hopefully after I get unloaded, I grab something and head due south.
I'm not
Get
sure where you're
that.
going to send me after Texas. It would be nice if they sent me back to Florida for a week or two. You know, after the camp out, I've asked the company to start keeping me more regional, closer to home. The OTR stuff is driving me a bit crazy. I don't like doing laundry at truck stops, you know.
I did that yesterday.
It's not fun.
That was no, I had to get the employee to wipe the machine at the washing machine, one of the washing machines out because when I opened the door to put laundry in, dog hair was all
Yeah.
around the
Ew,
seal.
gross, barf. You hope it's dog hair. You pray that it's dog hair.
I'm,
Don,
I'm,
Don,
I'm trying to
Donna
be
saying,
positive.
yeah, yeah, dog.
Don't
Sure.
ruin it,
Yeah.
goober.
Oh, you know it was somebody's pet raccoon. I've been Donna Lee. I've been a thoroughbred trainer, race horses 40 plus years in Florida track. Good times.
Near Ocala, I'm guessing.
So she's seen the real truck drivers out here. You've seen some of those race horse haulers.
Oh yeah.
Freaking beautiful trucks. You think a bull hauler is a nice truck.
Just
Donna Lee for
imagine.
horses. Yeah.
Yeah, just imagine if they're hauling, a load of stud horses that have,
Oh, millions
high dollar
of dollars.
bloodlines.
Yeah. Yeah. Buck dropped the link for Matt and Crystal's crowdfund. So go to https://helpv.com and the link is the number 0211260002. Copy that link right there on the screen. You can also on your smartphones, you can take a screenshot of what we're doing right here, and you can highlight that link and chase that down in a picture on your modern smartphones. So if you need to take a screenshot, do it now and chase that link to the crowdfunding for Key Fob. We got to get this boy on a motorcycle and not a trike. David Edwards is signing off for the night. We are only 17 minutes behind. Good night, David. Sorry you couldn't come on. I've been busy and I'm distracted. Donna Lee's over here telling her stories. That's fine. It's marriage at convenience. I travel with horses all of our marriage. At least you got to travel. Donna Lee says you can eat the whole gator, just not the head. Gator's tail is great. I like gator meat. What do you think of it, Buck? I know you've had it.
I grew up in Florida, remember? I was born and raised in Florida.
I know. That doesn't mean
Well,
you like it or not.
half my child. Oh yeah, I mean, I miss having a good bowl of swamp cabbage.
Swamp cabbage.
Mm-hmm.
Is that plant that's growing in the front yard you showed me?
One of them.
Next to the mailbox?
You take one of the, you take the heart of, I think it's called a sable palm or something like that, and you cook.
Yeah.
You cook it down basically like you do a regular cabbage, because the heart of it turns to the consistency of basically a cabbage. You can chop up onions and sausage and whatever you want to mix in it and make it like a gumbo.
That actually, is there a restaurant in town that serves it? Do you know of?
Nothing about Austin, no.
Gotta go to Florida, man.
Well,
Tara says it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your parents are?
Who doesn't remember that public safety announcement?
Uh-huh.
But the thing about it is, basically, it's a staple around the fish camps in Central Florida.
Okay.
Around the rivers and lakes and stuff, when they have, annual fish camp get-togethers and jamborees and bluegrass festivals and stuff like that, you'll find different vendors and all cooking it homemade at those jamboree events and stuff like that.
Right. You were saying that I think it was Jimmy Murphy had a sugar. What
a cane?
He had
he grows sugar cane, and then they make their own cane syrup. That's part of one of the things they do on their farm there in North Central Florida. Yeah.
You didn't get a chance to go, huh?
No, there was things going on with Mom.
We've had a very busy holiday season.
And relocating her from South Carolina, plus her health issues, and me trying to get my truck out of the shop, and tiny million things happening at once.
I'm glad you're back on the road, though. You look a lot happier.
I'm so, even though it wasn't the most ideal choice to make, I think it was the best choice to make, because I don't want to get into a newer truck and be committed to a long term and have to stay in this industry even longer.
Yeah, because I know what
I got. Yeah, I know what I got with this truck. I know what I got with this truck. If I start over with a newer used truck, I may wind up with a basket case. It's a crapshoot, and I'll take my chances at a casino every once in a while, but not all that often. But that kind of gamble is too much of a gamble when it comes to my livelihood.
Well, yeah, because that's eggs in a basket, right? Or in a bucket. We got a super chat from Kim Bowley. Hope you're doing well, Sterling. We are doing excellent now that you dropped a $5 super chat. So all super chats, all YouTube revenue will get calculated tomorrow. Everything that goes to my YouTube channel, the revenue is going to get donated to Key Fob tomorrow. So I really, really appreciate the $5 super chat. But all super chats get punished on my channel. So cover your ears, Buck. It's going to happen. There's no stopping it. Once I find the button, I'm going to press it.
Here comes Yoko.
Thank you, Kim. That was awesome. I hope it didn't blow out your eardrums as much as it did mine.
Well, thankfully, the way StreamYard is set up, when you do stuff like that, it mutes the audio automatically.
Good.
I don't know if it does for you, but it does for me.
Not for me. I've got my sound settings a little bit weird. I want to be able to hear you and anything else that's going on. Jody is her parent, or I think she was saying that her mom's in a home and suffering from the craziness of getting older.
See, Donna Lee knows.
Yeah.
Heart of palm is swamp cabbage.
Oh, did she put it in the comments? Let me get to
Right
it.
below. Oh, you ain't. You'd have to skip down. It's right below the super chat. But you would have to miss other comments to get down there to it. You can get
Yeah,
to it
Donna
later.
Lee said
I'm
the heart
skipping.
the heart of a palm is swamp cabbage. I've never had it. I didn't even know it existed till you told me about it. There's so much to learn about the South. Kim Bowley saying, "Hope your friend is doing well." Yeah, he was released from the hospital a couple of days ago. We were really worried about it because we thought that maybe he would go into physical therapy or, a rehabilitation facility of some sort. Because they told him he's not really going to walk for a couple months, but he's home with family and under some amazing care. So, thank you for the well wishes, by the way.
Yeah, her next comment you'll be able to chime in on because I happen to know you were in that area.
Oh, are we talking about the sweetest area of Florida that exists? That has great Cuban restaurants.
Donna Lee, I'll go ahead and tell you. Sterling called me. He's like, "What the hell is going on with Clewiston, Florida? Oh my God!" I said, "Yep,
No,
been there."
I love that place. Well, I was there, and it was just all they're burning off the fields, and there's just people.
You went down to
everywhere.
Moorhaven and around the Okeechobee, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
And then went over that way.
Yeah. Which is funny because one of my favorite YouTubers is Peter Santillo, and he just had a video about that whole area and how U.S. Sugar pretty much owns the town and everything around it. But that's some of my favorite areas. I do haul sugar out of there anytime I get down to South Florida. Love that area. And like I said, I found a really good Cuban restaurant there. I love Cuban sandwiches. Donna Lee says, YouTube pays us good on the channel. We put right back into the rescue. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, like I said, I'm donating this month's YouTube revenue to Key Fob. Kim saying prayers. Thanks for showing up. Drewski saying there are good Cuban restaurants all over Florida. That's why I love Florida. Many years ago, I got trapped at the 595 truck stop in Davie, Florida. You remember that place, Buck?
Yeah, I do, and I don't know exactly where you want to go with this conversation, knowing what we know behind the scenes about one of the owners, or used to be co-owners.
Yeah, Alex Mai, and
for those
I
in
met
the
him
trucking
there.
world,
And
for those in the trucking world that did not know, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's the mother trucker. He does trucking news and stuff on his channel. He's actually a very good resource, a really cool dude too. And I met him down there, did a couple of interviews. But yeah, I got trapped in Florida and had a Cuban sandwich at their little restaurant there. It was absolutely amazing. Been there a few times. The second time I went there, I rented an Audi convertible and went to Key West for a few days. Came back. It's surprising how far Key West is from Miami.
Oh yeah,
especially on a Friday at 2 p.m. Oh, I want a Key West trip so bad. I need it. My favorite Hawaiian shirt. I tore it on your RV at Forgotten Angels. And I want to replace that shirt, but I need to go back to Key West to find another shirt. It has to be a Key West Hawaiian shirt. I'll accept no other.
You place too many demands on yourself. I
I
mean, I
need
get
to.
it. I get it.
You
But
see how
wait a
you
minute.
see.
Who am I? Who am I to say that? I'm like the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah,
Placing too many
right.
demands on ourselves.
Uh-huh.
I need to
Yeah.
hush.
That's why we're brothers. No, it's as
I mean, it is Church of Will. Here I am preaching to the choir.
Yeah, exactly. You are the diesel deacon, by the way. It says it right there. Uh, yeah, I have very little discipline in my life, so I need to fulfill a couple requirements and try to stay on a narrow path. One of my biggest regrets is leaving Buck on my Life 360. And anytime I get home from a motorcycle trip, he goes, "Really?" Question mark.
Not everything has to be public knowledge, dude. Remember that.
Yeah.
We could have left that part out.
No, we have to track each other.
Because now I'm going to get 90 million texts. Hey, where's Sterling at today? Or you're going to get 90 million texts. Hey, where's Buck at today?
No, I changed my phone number. People text all they fucking want. Some dude in China's got that number now.
But I think
Don Elise saying Clewiston is the capital of fishing there. Bass, right? There in the lake. I haven't been fishing since I was a kid. I would love to go fishing. I just love to go out on a fucking boat, dude.
Being that I have intimate knowledge and have lived there from 1981 to 86, it wasn't Clewiston, but I lived in Palatka, Florida.
Right.
That's been known for over a century now as the bass fishing capital of the world. I don't know if it's changed to Clewiston since then, but I highly doubt it with as many fish camps that run up and down the St. Johns River. And how many are
Really?
so centrally located to Palatka and East Palatka and Satsuma and Willatka and Dunn's Creek and Rodman Dam and all those areas. So
did I tell you about that area of Florida I was looking at? St. Joe, I think it was called. I guess there's a lot of oysters and stuff that come from that area.
yeah, that's along the Gulf Coast.
Right.
Yeah. The
Yeah, I've been
Forgotten
wanting
Coast, they call it.
Yes. Yeah.
And then that's
I guess
around
there's
the
not
Big
a lot
Bend
of tourist traffic
Panhandle
and all
area.
that.
Not so much the Panhandle area, but pretty much everything east of Panacea along the Big Bend area down to Steinhatchee, Alligator
Right.
Point area. The reason it's the Forgotten Coast is a lot of that's marshland, and it's not accessible as we know the Atlantic side to be, or anything west of Panacea, which I'm talking Panama City, Pensacola area, where there's actually sand beaches.
Right. So it's more like wetlands up there.
Pretty much.
I still want to check it out.
The advantage to
SST says Buck knows the river.
Well, the reason I do is, like I said, being there from 1981 to 86. I get up in the morning. It wasn't in Palatka. It was just right outside of Palatka in Francis, but it was close enough that, I walked. I went to, my little brother was in Kelly Smith Elementary School, for God's sake. It's right there on US 20 that goes over to Interlochen, and that's where they have a lot of big jamborees at fish camps over there in Interlochen and Hawthorne and all that area going back towards Gainesville. But we had Silver Lake, not football field distance from where I lived. And then at lunchtime, we could be at the river at the St. John's. And then that afternoon, we could be over at Crescent Beach if we wanted to for the weekend. So I could have the experience of a river, a lake, and a beach all in the same day.
That's awesome.
If I wanted, when I was a teenager. Yeah. And in the 80s, we had the best music in the world too, so there was that.
Right. Yeah,
Plus,
when classic rock wasn't vintage rock.
see, we had tournaments, but we had video game tournaments, but they were at the arcades in the malls. They weren't at
Yes.
they wasn't at convention centers, and they wasn't online and this, that, and the other. We
Yeah,
actually had to collect cans and turn them in for the deposits and stuff to have the quarters to put in the machines.
that's
So,
awesome.
and Florida's oldest diner is still in operation today in Palatka,
You
Florida. Angel's Diner.
yeah, you sent me a link to that. I thought that was so
hmm
cool.
And it's
Yeah.
walking distance from the river.
Donna Lee says graduated from Cooper City, Florida. You know where that's at? Cooper
Mm.
City. Sounds down. I think it's down south.
I moved, like I said, when we moved from Palatka back to Valdosta was in '86, and I was in middle school then. And we moved back in July of '86, but in January of '86, they took us out on the track behind the field, behind the school, the track and the football field, and we watched the Challenger go up because we were only 100 miles from the Cape Canaveral, so we could see it with our own eyes. And then 6 months later, in July, is when I moved back to Georgia. So
yeah, I was in kindergarten. I grew up in Southern California, and we were close to NASA there in Palmdale, California, and we had cable TV in the classroom, even in kindergarten, and we all watched it on live feed, and it freaked us all out. I remember the whole class was just like, we all looked at the teacher, and she was in tears.
and speaking of Florida history and stuff, and she says she graduated from Cooper City. Buck's mom was born in Homestead in 1947. By the way,
Mama Buck, the Sterling
yeah,
mom.
she was born in Homestead, Florida. So yeah,
I
native
drove through
Floridian.
home. Yeah, I drove through Homestead last month, I think it was.
And you keep telling me I'm from Georgia. I'm from Georgia. No, that's just where my residence is. But you know yourself, we're not 10 minutes from the state line.
Yeah,
So,
dude, I was because I took that back road from Mom's house, through Madison to get down to Greenville, Florida.
yeah,
I was so surprised just how, I mean, and you could
You
tell
wasn't-
there's a difference
you wasn't
between
10
Georgia
minutes,
and Florida.
where
You
Mom's
tell
at, she ain't
instantly.
10
Yeah,
minutes to the Florida line on her side where she's at.
yeah, yeah. The roads got better. Like Georgia don't have the best roads, I don't think. Yeah, Florida's got some better roads. But I could tell the second I crossed that state line, it's got a bit of a different vibe. Interesting vibe.
Oh,
What?
and you know how in Georgia on the little state roads, other than US 41 between Lake Park and Valdosta, with it being a 4-lane highway, the 2-lane roads, the speed limit's on 55, but as soon as you cross into Florida, the speed limit goes to 60.
Yes. Yeah, which caught me off guard. I was wondering why people were catching up to me.
Because
Listen, I'm not always a speed demon on a motorcycle. Sometimes I like to kick my feet up and cruise.
well, we're not going to talk about 360 alerts that people get since somebody brought up that we have our locations.
I don't know what you're talking about. That number that you saw was not the top speed. Donna Lee says right next to Davie, Florida.
Ooh, bless her heart.
Yeah, that's not an area of Florida that's very nice
Davie,
anymore.
You might as well say Miami. It's like Hollywood. It's like Hollywood and Fort Lauderdale. You can't distinguish them anymore.
Yeah, it's all grown together. Yeah, it's all grown together. Yeah, I was in Hollywood a couple months ago. I delivered to a secret Red Bull facility. I guess Red Bull must get hijacked or something. That was a very high security load, and it went to an unmarked warehouse. But you want to know how I knew it was a Red Bull warehouse? The dumpster was full of Red Bull boxes.
I guess it was batches determined that they couldn't ship or something?
No, they order it and they get 24 cases and stuff, and it was cases of Red Bull that they just take out of the cases and load into the trucks and stuff for delivery. But all the boxes did cases were thrown in the dumpster. So I knew I was at the right warehouse. And then I checked in that morning and they were cool enough to let me in. Drewski saying none of us ever exceed the posted speed limit. Fingers crossed behind my back. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never exceeded the speed limit. Ever. Twice. A month. My entire life. No comment. Donna Lee saying we're a tourist state. The roads are always kept up. The roads have gotten really bad in Utah, Buck. You were here about a year ago, weren't you?
Yeah.
There's a couple areas on the 6 where I almost caught air. When my truck is at 79,800 pounds and I hit a bump.
You better be glad it was too, going across 80 with the high wind warnings.
Yeah, well, it was pretty bad. I've been heavy the last couple of weeks, so it hasn't been too much of a hassle. But yeah, today the traction control went off on a friggin' pothole. Truck went sailing off of it. And Utah puts the bump sign at what you're going to catch air off of, not before it. So thanks, Utah. Terrible Mexican food and horrible bumps. We're coming up on 2.5 hours here, Buck. Church of Wheels gotten a little out of hand.
Right. But before we part, speaking of Forgotten Angels earlier and bringing up, Matt's recovery and stuff, with the work that we have done with the Living Legends series to spread the word for Forgotten Angels.
Yes.
I'd like to let everybody in the community know that's been following the Living Legends stuff, that's been followers of Forgotten Angels as well. And one of the administrators and one of the actual participants in the same person, Mr. Billy Spell, the red number 11 car that's been featured on Sterling's channel and my channel. Since the last race, he's undergone 3 different procedures trying to get his heart back regulated, and they're gonna have to go back in and reattach the leads coming off of his pacemaker. So let's all keep him and his journey in our thoughts and prayers as well, if we can, because that man's fixing to be 74 years old.
Unbelievable.
And what they've done for that series to honor their drivers that are retired, that are still here, plus graciously taking on board Forgotten Angels mission to spread the word to our younger generations as well. I felt that I share that with everybody to, help, in his time of need, and his he's not asking for donations or nothing like that, because
right.
They're taken care of. I'm doing that myself because they took it, they took it on board because we brought it to them as a way of expanding the word for what Forgotten Angels does, and what better way to bring different avenues and different audiences to the awareness of what our younger men and women who are in need, what they're struggling through. So let's just all keep him in mind, and as we go forward, because he's going to be down another 6 to 8 weeks in that recovery as well, because that's even though it's an outpatient procedure nowadays, when you're older like that, it takes longer to heal from and recover from stuff.
Right.
Even minor colds, like we were talking earlier, when folks get older, they start going back to childish tendencies in a lot of ways, because of age and life catches up with us.
It takes longer to recover. Yeah.
Right. Besides,
Yeah,
you spend a lot of time with him around the track and talking with him and getting to know the other drivers.
This last
you may
time
have a good story you want to share about him.
Yeah, I hung out with him the last time we were there. So we were there for a 2-night event. And the first night he was feeling kind of weak. his mind wasn't really in the game. And then it was super
Luckily,
cold.
and luckily, he was having an issue with the battery on his car, and luckily
Yes.
that even though he wanted to get out there and at least turn some laps, at least there was a sign from above saying, "Hey,
Yes.
take the night off, back up, regroup." So go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. And him and I sat down for a little bit and talked and stuff. And, you know, he leaned over and he said, you know, I'm kind of glad that I'm not running tonight. I'm not feeling it. I was like, yeah, it's totally understandable. And he was like, you know, I'm sorry, you know, if you have any cameras on the car, they won't be used. And I was like, that's okay. I put cameras on all the other cars already because I had Eric helping me that night, which was absolutely amazing.
And that was also the same night we were on that last push to raise the money for Forgotten Angels on the tools.
Right.
So we were able to surpass our. We were hoping to get at least $1,000 raised, and we raised $1,040 from the last three previous races up until that Friday night, and then Saturday night we were able to spend more time focused on the season-ending race and all the
Yes.
festivities that had to happen for that. And that was also Friday night was also the last night Jimmy Murphy that you mentioned earlier. He
Yeah.
retired that Friday night. That was the last night he was ever going to race his car again.
I
And then
didn't
Saturday
know.
night,
I didn't know till that night.
I didn't either.
I just thought I was, you know, recording on Jimmy's car, and then his what is his nephew
His
that
grandson.
took over, grandson. His grandson
drove.
said, "Yeah, I'm driving tomorrow." I was like,
See,
why?
his grandson drove. His
Yeah.
grandson drove his car the first night of the season back in March last
Back
year.
in March. Okay.
Because Jimmy was recovering from shoulder surgery, and that was
so he
before
was familiar with the car then.
Yeah, that was the second night That was the second night ever in a car, and the first night was the first race of the season, and you were still in Nevada.
Right.
You didn't come on board till till you got over here in June.
Yeah, it was June.
But then when you got down here, you
I
went.
hit the ground running.
You Matt, Key Fob, and
Yep.
Sick Bastard. You three were right there. I asked for some videography help and all because I had too many irons in the fire, and you guys picked up the torch and y'all ran with it. And
Yeah. Well, I mean, you
there's-
gave me the opportunity to use all my cool GoPros and stuff, which is that's my favorite hobby, you know, is video and editing video and stuff like that. And to put my cameras through the paces of those cars, like I never thought any of my GoPros could handle, you know, 80, 90 mile an hour sideways, getting hit by rocks, and it's just amazing. Oh, not only that, I'm getting to fly my friggin' drone around the track and catch drone shots too. It's like I can't thank you enough for including me in all this stuff. It's a lot of fun, but
and then in the backside of all that, you had all that footage to edit and compile in a way you never had before.
very overwhelming and a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I'm really not spending money right now, but high on my list once I get debt paid off and stuff is a new editing computer. My computer, I'm surprised it doesn't shoot flames when I fire it up.
That's why I refuse to stand behind a pulpit. I'm afraid my feet will catch fire.
Oh geez. Too bad. Too bad. You're the diesel deacon. It says it right there.
That's been a long term. That's been a long term. That's been a long standing running joke with me and my family because I got an uncle that's a retired preacher.
Yep.
And from the time I was 15, he said, "You would make a good preacher." And he got 3 sons of his own that never followed in his footsteps. But he's gonna tell his nephew, "This guy, I would make a good preacher." I was like, I might make a good motivational speaker, but it had to be to an adult audience. I couldn't do it in front of a congregation.
I know you could. We're going to blast through a few more comments and wind this on down. Donna Lee says she's a biker. She's got an electric scooter, goes 35 miles an hour. That counts. That counts. Dude, we see some scooters that do 100 miles an hour out there now.
Oh, speaking of scooters, I got secret projects to get ready if I make the camp out.
Oh, stop it. It's top secret. Although, if you go back and look at my videos where I put the engine in the Volkswagen, you might be able to see Buck's top secret project. Donna Lee, I didn't have time to censor it. We have a big race here, Days of Sebring. It's NASCAR cars, people, and racers come. I love Sebring. I'm a huge fan of the 24 hours of Sebring.
Rolex, the Rolex,
Rolex Cup, and I'm a huge fan of Porsche, and so I'm very familiar with the track and the history behind it. I absolutely love that type of racing. I desperately want to go to the Brumos Museum there in Jacksonville.
At least the neighborhood around Sebring isn't coming down on the track like the neighborhood in Laguna Seca.
Yes. Yeah.
Is coming down on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Laguna Seca is a mess.
What do people expect when they move into the neighborhood, knowing that there's a track there that's got almost 100 years of history?
It's money versus money. That's all it is. And it's California. I don't think Florida. Well, I remember Cletus was fighting a little bit for the track that he built, wasn't he?
Well, it wasn't that he built.
It was already there.
Bradenton Raceway Park existed, and the owners got into financial trouble and this, that, and the other, and the track closed. He reopened it, and it had been closed for several years. I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
So time had moved on, and it had stayed dormant and quiet for a while. So naturally, there had been people moved in that time frame that wasn't accustomed to the noise that comes with it once it opens back up. So yeah, there was naturally pushback.
Yeah, because I remember they fought some. There's some housing development that was going to go on, and it was going to be too close to the track and stuff. But he was able to fight that back. Interesting stuff. Yeah,
plus he holds, you know, a certain event that with a certain class of cars that you fell in love with at North Florida Speedway.
Let's not talk about Crown Vics. There's one parked right over here, and it's got a for sale sign on it. And I did not look at that for sale sign that said $2,500. I did not look at that Crown Vic that's sitting right over there.
One thing I failed to mention to you, as far as that goes with Crown Vics, in the South Georgia, North Florida area, there's all kind of police auctions that happen annually to sell off old vehicles and stuff.
I know. Yeah, I know. Uh-huh. I know. Yeah.
And there's a certain local police chief over the little city of Hayhira, Georgia, that once participated in dirt track racing with a Crown Vic that was from Hernando County, Florida. So what the police chief did on the weekend when he was off duty, he beat the racetrack with his Crown Vic. You know what the car number was? K9.
Oh, geez. Of course.
How fitting.
Yeah. Drewski saying offer 1,500. Well, we are in the middle of Green River, Utah. They'll probably go for 1,500.
Imagine the shipping from Green River back home.
It'll be 1,600. Donna Lee says live a block from the Circle of Sebring. Good times.
And we're not even gonna mention the deal that the track had going, and I was one number off of a brand new one.
I got so upset about that. I think yeah, I had you run the 360 cam through it. I made a short out of it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was awesome. You almost won that car.
One spot away. I was next door.
Jeez.
So the sun didn't shine that bright that day.
No. The thing was the thing that would suck
full moon out the deal.
Yeah. The thing that sucks though is you would have to give me that car because you've got to run the Living Legends. So I would be driving the Crown Vic if you want it.
I already told you that's what was going to happen. You know, I got a trailer at the house. Could pull it.
Yeah.
It could go on.
So if a Crown
anyhow.
Vic magically winds up at your house, you're going to be like, yes, of course.
I mean, there are tools in the shop. There are presses in the shop. There is a welder in the shop. There is a sawzall in the shop. There's stuff to make stuff happen.
I don't need to be thinking about this before I go to bed. You're an asshole. Denied. Oh, man. Last comment from Donna Lee. They had come hometown on TV and redid the whole circle here in Sebring. I just walk a block and I'm in the circle. You're that close to Sebring. There's some great history there. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of Porsche, and some of our greatest cars, race cars, that ever existed, raced at Sebring. I'm gonna have to go hang out with Donna Lee. I'm sick of you, Buck. I'm gonna leave.
That part of the country is addicting.
It's good. It's good people too. Everyone that cut me off there didn't flip me off. They just waved. I was like, oh, that's nice.
That's their blinkers, because they don't know how to use blinkers.
Yeah.
Whichever hand they're holding up is which way they're going.
Yes, exactly. Good times. Well, I'm going to press buttons to make things go away. We were live for 2 hours and 41 minutes. Like I said, all proceeds from my YouTube channel this month is going to help Key Fob. He had a motorcycle accident, and we will be donating. I don't know where your comment was that has the link there, Buck. It's probably 5 hours behind. You know who didn't show up for this live? And you're going to be surprised.
Who's that?
Tolga.
I'd be doggone, he didn't, did he?
Yeah. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning where he's at in Turkey. Buck Brown dropped the link for Matt and
there,
Crystal's.
I just put it at the bottom of the comments so we didn't know how to hunt it.
Good. I found it. Helpv.com. Check out. Actually, if you're watching this on a phone right now, you can screenshot this and chase that link. Or you can write it down if you have to. But it's presented by the Law Tigers, and the last time I checked, it was up to about $1,300, which is going to help Key Fob and Crystal. She's still doing tutoring, working from home, and he's off of work until we can get him back on a motorcycle. And anything you can do to help him out. Got anything else to say there, Buck, before we dash through the night?
Peace, love, and chicken grease.
Exactly. Thanks for hanging out with us, kids. Thank you for showing up for the Church of Wheel. And I actually got to do this on a Sunday. It's amazing. Church of Wheel, salt. Buck is hauling salt. I had Mexican food that was way too salty. I passed through Salt Lake City today.
And I recently loaded at Morton Salt.
Yeah, you loaded at Morton Salt?
Not in Muskogee, but just recently in Louisiana.
Yeah. Anywho, we're out of here. I'm pressing buttons to make things go away. Thank you for joining.
Thank everyone for chiming in the chat.
Yep. Thanks for stopping by, Buck. Stay in the background. I'll talk to you for a bit.
And remember, those heavens were shut up because the people, those heavens were shut up in faith, breaking through. And she proved God. God has something better than where you are right now. And their place in him as the, hallelujah. And God sent that man that day to open up those heavens. Shoo, Hallelujah. Instead of letting our faith be dictated to by our heart and what God said. There it is again, so strong. Faith is the substance, the title to the deed of the substance of things hoped for. I just got another good one. Thank you, Jesus. 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 I'm very bold. I know that. Before the devil steals this thought out of you, while the inspiration, while the anointing is there. Thank you, Lord. Hello. You have to press in. You have to press on. You have to go on. Starting is great, Proverbs says, but finishing is better. Finish what you start. Got to learn how to stick your stick up. Amen.